My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to this week's Midnight Unity service. Tonight, we turn inward, toward the hidden dimension of life that has been called awwuf, the path of the heart. It is here, beyond outward forms and labels, that humanity has always searched for unity with the infinite. In every age and culture, a thread of inner knowing has whispered that there is more to reality than the eye can see, and more to the self than the mind can grasp. This evening, we reflect on that timeless journey. So, we gather not as Muslims or Christians, Jews or Hindus, Buddhists or Sikhs, believers or seekers. We gather as humanity, one breath, one soul, one destiny. And in this unity service, we move together. After this reflection, we will be uplifted with a fireside talk from the Sheikh, words that burn away the veils and water the roots of remembrance. Then we will enter into thicker, the remembrance of the divine, the rhythm of unity that aligns heart and breath with eternity. And finally, we will gather in a live panel, voices from many walks of life, opening dialogue not to debate, but to heal, to mend, to unify. This is our path, not to dream of separation, but to awaken into unity, not to fight for labels, but to rise as forerunners, carrying the seed of humanity into the stars, carrying the mantle of consciousness into eternity. This is our Friday unity worship. This is our midnight reflection. I pray that this reaches you and touches your soul. May the peace and everlasting blessings of the Eternal One be on all of us. Amen.
Good evening, my dear brothers and sisters. Before we can unify on the macro level, we must transform ourselves on the micro, individually. Tonight we gather at the still hour of midnight, when the world grows quiet and the heart can speak. Our path is not bound by one tradition or name, but it carries a wisdom known across time, what some have called tasawwuf, the way of inner transformation. It is here, in the hidden silence of the heart, that the journey begins. Mysticism is not an escape from life, but a deeper entering into it. The discovery that behind every form lies an essence, behind every word a silence, and behind every division a unity. As we reflect together, may we be reminded that the Forerunners' call is not to follow the worn paths of the past, but to walk with courage where the unseen road begins. Mysticism is the hidden thread running through all faiths and philosophies, the inner depth behind outward form. It awakens consciousness, releases latent powers, and opens vision to truths beyond reason's reach. The mystic does not merely believe, they experience the presence of the infinite, a reality too vast for words. Across centuries, mystical awareness has risen and faded according to human need. In earlier Europe, it was overshadowed by rigid dogma. Later, the Enlightenment and scientific materialism brought deep skepticism. Many felt that old answers no longer addressed their questions about existence. By the late 1800s, seekers began to look eastward. Societies and teachers introduced wisdom traditions to the West, and practices like yoga, meditation, and contemplative philosophy gained attention. For many, this interest was surface level, yet for some, it stirred a deeper hunger, not for passing experiences, but for a living path that could guide daily life. As this search grew, centers of learning and practice began to appear across the West. Teachers carried mystical wisdom into new lands, and publications spread it widely. Today, books, schools, and communities dedicated to inner growth can be found in nearly every major city. But not all teachings carry the same depth. Some offer quick inspiration, yet lack the discipline needed for lasting transformation. The genuine path requires effort, guidance, and a willingness to go beyond surface fascination. Without this, the journey can easily become diluted into empty ritual or vague mysticism. True mysticism is never divorced from its roots. It arises from the deepest truths of existence. Its aim is refinement of the self, balance of the inner and outer life, and awakening to reality as it is. The path reminds us that growth is not instant. It is a process of unlearning, surrender, and renewal. As one teaching says, where others end, we begin. Even in today's fast, distracted world, these teachings remain timeless. They invite us to live with presence, to integrate the sacred into our work, families, and communities, and to walk the earth with a heart awakened to truth. Therefore, my beloved brothers and sisters, this is the invitation of the Forerunners, to walk together on the path of awakening, to embody unity in a world torn by division, and to let the heart become a mirror for the infinite. Tasawwuf reminds us that the journey is not about escape, but about integration, living with presence, depth, and compassion in the midst of our daily lives. True change begins within. If we wish to see transformation in the world, we must first become transformed ourselves. As Forerunners, we are called to be more than survivors. We are called to thrive, to rise, to grow, and to live as a new kind of humanity, a species of Forerunners who carry the light of the heart into every place we go. Amongst the stars, in the silence of midnight, and in the ordinary moments of our families and communities, we are meant to reflect the infinite and to shine as lanterns for all. So as we leave tonight's gathering, let us carry this remembrance with us, that awakening is not only possible, it is our calling. And through us, the light of unity may spread. I say these things in His most glorious names, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Amen.